friends, welcome back to our read aloud of Junie B. Jones, first grader at last, for our distance learning. So when we left off, Junie B had to read some sentences from the back of the room and read them from the front of the room. And she missed them all when she read from the back of the room because she couldn't see them very well. And so Mr. Scary brought her to the nurse, and now she's in the nurse's office instead of outside at recess. Let's see what happens now. Chapter 6, The E-Game. I sat in a chair next to Mrs. Weller's desk. She asked me lots of questions. First, she asked me how I liked my summer vacation. Then she asked me how I liked first grade and how I liked Mr. Scary. That is called stall talk, I believe. Finally, Mrs. Weller stood up. "Have you noticed the eye charts I have hanging on my wall, Junie B?" she asked. She pointed at them. "Eye charts are posters that help us test our eyesight," she explained. "I have 2 different kinds. See? One has alphabet letters on it, and the one right next to it is filled with funny E's. That one is called the E chart." I looked at that funny thing. "Whoa," I said. "Those are the craziest E's I ever saw. They're backwards and forwards and upside down." "You're right," said Mrs. Weller. "The E's are all mixed up, aren't they? And today, you and I are going to play a game with those mixed up E's. It's called the E-Game." After that, Mrs. Weller got a little paper cup, and she showed me how to hold it over one of my eyes. "We're going to be testing each of your eyes separately," she said. "While one eye is hiding under the cup, the other eye will play the game, okay?" I shrugged my shoulders, 'cause what choice did I have? Mrs. Weller showed me where to stand to play the game. Then she went back to the E chart. "All right," she said. "Now each time I point to one of the E's, you will tell me what the direction it's facing. Are you ready, Junie B?" I shrugged up and down again. Then I hid one eye behind the cup, and Mrs. Weller pointed at the first E. I pointed my finger up. "That one is facing up at the ceiling," I told her. "Good," she said. "Excellent." I felt a little better inside. Mrs. Weller pointed to the next E. I pointed my finger down at the floor. "That one is facing down," I said. Mrs. Weller smiled and nodded. I stood up taller, because this wasn't as hard as I thought. And after that, the nurse kept on pointing at more E's, and I kept on telling her which direction they were facing. Right, left, down, left, up. I stopped and grinned. "Hey, what do you know? I'm a breeze at this game, right, Mrs. Weller? Right, I said. Mrs. Weller winked at me. "We're almost done," she said. "Only a few more E's to go." She pointed to a new row. There was a funny smudgy next to her finger. "Whoops," I said. "What happened there? Did someone spill something on your chart?" Mrs. Weller did a little frown. She kept on pointing at the smudgy. "Can you tell me anything about this mark at all, Junie B?" she asked. "Yes," I said. "It's a smear ball." Mrs. Weller moved her finger over a little bit. "What about this mark here? Can you tell me anything about this one?" I stared and stared at that thing. That's a toughie," I said. Finally, Mrs. Weller came over to me. "That's fine," she said. "You did just fine, Junie B." And after that, we played the same game with my other eye. And guess what? I saw 3 more smudgies and a smeary. And after I was done, I sat down in the chair again. Mrs. Weller said I need glasses. I do not like Mrs. Weller. All right, friends. So in Chapter 6, Junie B and Mrs. Weller use an eye chart. Have you ever used an eye chart? Touch your nose if you've used an eye chart before. They used an eye chart to see how her vision was, how well she could see. And she was doing really, really great until she wasn't. And she didn't see any E's at all. She just saw smudges. And at the very end of their little meeting, the nurse said she needed glasses. Do you think Junie B was happy about that? She does not like that. Tomorrow we are going to find out what Junie B does with the information that she needs glasses. Thank you for joining me today, and I will see you later. Bye-bye.